those joining us live, thank you. For those watching later, thank you as well. Today, I'm Kansas Helen. It's my logo there. Just figured out how to do that. It's pretty cool. Young person helped me. They're great at technology. But yeah, so I'm going to interview
KeMesha Bernard.
KeMesha Bernard.
Yeah.
See, it's always the last names.
Yeah.
She's running for Kansas House District 78, which is in what area?
Olathe, Kansas.
Olathe, Kansas. And we're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to ask her some questions and just see how she feels. You know, at this point, Kansas House people don't always have policy or really, know the ins and outs. They're just regular, everyday citizens running. And that's kind of what I want to highlight here is the fact that there's everyday citizens are running for Kansas House and all sorts of things, all sorts of levels of the government right now. And I want to get that out there so I can inspire people to run, either by saying, oh, look at them, I can do it too. Or being like, oh man, if they can do it, I can do it, So that's really what I want. I just want to have a conversation like two adults that are into Kansas politics.
Yes. I did want to let everybody know, like, this is my first time running. I'm excited, People that do know me know I'm very determined about my goals and whatever I want.
I believe you.
So,
I believe you.
Yeah.
Oh, it took us 20 minutes. You got the vibe.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so we can talk all about that. Let me get into it first. Category. Eligibility, strategy, and political climate. Why are you running for Kansas House and what experience best prepares you to represent your district? How will you remain accessible and accountable to constituents, including those who did not vote for you? And then what are your thoughts on the current political climate in Kansas?
So why I'm running for state representative is more like I said on my Facebook post, because I did post it and stuff like that. I'm just kind of tired of seeing us struggle and everything like that, then with ICE going around, with our government, how that's going and everything like that, just how are we based off like our wages, how we can't even afford rent, we can't afford groceries, but we're just struggling.
I feel like you're one of the people that's like, I can definitely do a better job than that one.
I don't want to sound like...
No, I mean, not necessarily who you're running against per se,
right.
But I mean, I feel that way. I feel that, but I don't have a lot of the things that you also need.
Right.
Like we were talking earlier about a thick skin.
Right.
I do have a thick skin, but I also have a mouth, and it's not that I just have a mouth, it's that I enjoy saying what I want to say when I want to say it, right. And I hate being restricted with that. Mm-hmm. And so, and it's not that I don't think I would do a great job. I just don't think Kansas is ready for all this.
Right.
So there's a balance.
There is a balance. I can say that, but my thing is like you can't be afraid to say whatever you have to say. You can't.
Well, there's a lot of cuss words, and I call people bad names.
I mean, okay, that's fair.
I'm trying to get our legislature to stop being like that. I'm not the energy they need. That's why I don't go to some protests or do things. It's because I know my energy, and I know that group is not going to enjoy my energy. So why would I infiltrate their district?
It's all how you really conduct yourself. So you can say whatever you have to say, but I'm like, again, I understand the whole cussing and all this and that. Yeah, you do have to contain yourself, because there are going to be people that that don't like you. There are going to be people that that just be like, no, she's not a fit, this and that. They're gonna even probably not even like me.
It depends on the day and the topic. There are a couple topics I will go hard on. No matter how,
right?
No matter what, I will just go hard on them, and I can't even help it. But yeah, I feel like overall, like but you got to have that thick skin. You got to have the ability to communicate your passion in a way that isn't angry, that isn't screaming and yelling and telling people they suck if they don't think the way you do.
Yeah, my thing is like you can get your point across without screaming. You can tell people how you feel about a situation.
What they say. I hear that.
Yeah, and it's true. My thing is like you see people out protesting all the time, screaming and yelling, and you have a right, to your feelings to validate. Yeah. Yes, all this stuff is very important, but just communicate what you however
I think
feel.
that people that do take it up a notch do have value. I just don't think they should be elected.
I mean, I said, everybody has their own opinions.
And there's so many factors that are important in how all this runs.
Correct.
We need people on the outside that are pushing those that aren't afraid to speak up to elected officials, that aren't afraid to push back on them, that aren't afraid to call them out.
Right.
Because our media is not doing that, you know. But we also, so we do need those people. It's just like not in the state house. But yeah, I think just by talking to you before this, you definitely you communicate your thoughts and points very well. So
Thank you.
Yeah, so what experience prepares you?
So my experience, well, not only have I been doing, you know, law and been getting into it and, you know, doing my research and studies and stuff like that, I also have been, how do I say it? I'm more of a research person and stuff like that. I love knowledge. I'm always in a book. I stopped watching the news and TV because it's just so much, you know, just unnecessary drama. I'm about to go out and look for the answers myself.
Right.
I'm a go-getter. I'm a hustler. I'm going to find the answers myself. You give me the problem, I'm going to find the solution.
Yep.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. No, that's what we need in there. Because no matter what, if you have that energy, if you have that attitude, it doesn't matter what comes up.
Exactly. I don't mind calling people out. And people that know me know I don't mind calling people out. I'm going to address the issue. This is the problem. This is what we need to fix. Why haven't you did it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem is there's a lot of decorum required in this city. When you go into the city council meeting, you have decorum. And it does not take a lot to shake up things because they're so just like calm and robotic and thinking about every single word they say. I just want you to talk to me like a human being.
Exactly. My thing is like, we're not robots. We're people. We're coming to you about our real problems, our real issues. Why are they not being fixed? Why are they not being addressed? This is why we put you in office, because you made promises. Don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah.
I'm big on that. I will not make a promise that I cannot keep.
Yeah.
You can't obtain what you said that you're going to do, then you need to find another solution.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like I said, admit that your theory.
Yeah.
And
it's okay to take accountability. Yeah. That's our problem. We don't know how to take accountability for our actions. So even if we mess up, we're all human. So I can mess up. I'm like, okay, this is what I thought was going to happen. But since this didn't happen, now that
I've done more research and I have more data,
like you gotta,
you have to.
Me, I'm a person that has plans after plans after backup plans after back. I got to have plans. So if one fails, here's the next move. Here's the next move. Here's the next move.
That's something I think we're lacking at all levels of government, are people that are really thinking long term about their decisions, because so many of them are really just concerned. They're always campaigning.
Yeah.
So every word that comes out of their mouth, they're thinking about how that's going to look in the next election. They're thinking about how that's going to, the sound bite that they might get, but they're also worried about their image. That they get so distracted by doing their political career that they're not doing the work.
Exactly.
Look, I don't care if you're the best speech person in the world. I don't care if you dress the nicest and have the slickest, prettiest hair or whatever. Can you do the work?
Exactly.
Can you write bills? Can you understand what's going on instead of just voting the way your party tells you to on whatever bill it is?
Exactly. My thing is like, and when you're voting on this bill, are you breaking down to the people what this bill is? Are you telling?
No, because they don't understand it.
Exactly, because they don't understand.
A lot of times they're not given enough time to read it.
Exactly, and I'm for my people. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with everybody. I'm not just here from just black people, just white people, just any type of, no, I'm here for us all. Like, we are all in this together. So we need to come together as a community. We need to break down what is happening and let the people know this is what you're voting for. This is what they're passing the law on.
Education. That's a really important part of it.
Education is so important to me. Like that.
Especially Kansas House people, right? Because you're in such a smaller district. Right?
Yes.
You only have 25,000 people, which sounds like a lot. But if you look at like city council in Wichita, it's like 50-something thousand they got to deal with.
Right.
And so in your district, some are a little bigger than others, but you live there. You should know that. You should know people there. It shouldn't be that hard to start having conversations with people in your own little district.
You would think that, but some people don't branch out.
Yeah, no, you have to. And that's the problem about accessibility, is that they're not talking to their people. When I understand, like, when you're in session, things get hard and you kind of have to let your staff collect data or whatever, and you can't really talk to every single person. But that's only like 5 months out of the year.
Exactly.
And what do you do in the other 7 months? You're supposed to be in your district, having town halls, talking to your constituents, going around, getting to know people, going to events, finding out what their concerns are, asking them how they felt about how things went last session. There's so many things that you're supposed to be doing. for those 7 months.
Right.
Because Kansas isn't a full-time job. That's why I would never run for council. It's full-time every day, all the time.
Yeah,
thank you. But Kansas
parents'
House is only 5 months out of the year.
It is.
For some of you, it may be a pay cut, but if you have some sort of form of income, if you can afford it. But yeah, most of the people that run for House, they come up here, they stay, or up here, they go to Topeka, they stay there during the session. Maybe they go home on the weekend if they have families, or maybe they just stay there the whole time. And the other 7 months, they're back at their house. It's supposed to be in their district. And a lot of the times, they just go and do like events that their party puts on or whatever, but they're not like, I don't see them posting about town halls, or you know how like the council meetings, they have like District 1 breakfasts and all this stuff. Like,
I see those. I
all
can
those things should be
honestly, I
happening.
can say that I see that. Like anytime, like I'm dropping off my son or something like that, they will sometimes put like, hey, you know, and even sometimes you have to even check their website. But I can't agree that it's not talked about enough. I can't agree to that. It is not.
I only know
enough.
Wichita really well, and and its politics and stuff. I live in Topeka now, but I haven't really got. Wichita is plenty. I don't have time to pay attention to another city right now.
No, fair.
But yeah, so yeah, I think that it's just like they're just not doing their job.
No,
and
I can give that to you. They're not.
Anybody that's willing to do the job and thinks they can do the job and it wants to do the work, that's all I need to know.
Right.
Because you're going to do better than some of the people that are doing it that just like, I don't know, are they even reading the bills? They just vote the way their party goes.
If I can be totally honest, I feel like people are just only doing it just for the money. If I'm going to be completely honest,
or
they're doing it for the money, they're doing it for the power, for the benefits. My thing is like, you're not doing it for our people. I'm doing it for our people. I am so tired, like I said, of seeing our people struggle. I'm so tired of us trying to figure out when's our next grocery bill, when our next rent bill, this and that. Why are we struggling? I was just talking to my grandfather, and he was telling us, how gas was like you could fill up your whole tank with $1. I'm like, how we get back to those days?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there needs to be people on the inside to be able to find out all the ins and outs and whys.
Oh, there are people
and
they
tell
just
us.
don't want. They just don't want to talk.
And if that means speaking, like for me, it's like party. A lot of people right now, like I'm unaffiliated,
right?
Because I feel like there's a lot of people that at the end of the day fall in party line that may not be what their constituents want in their district.
Correct.
I mean, there's been a chart they did. I don't remember where it's at, but like what got passed, what we wanted.
Right.
And it's 10% of what we wanted ever gets passed across the board. And so it's like they're not listening to the people, and they try to say, they're just not listening. The constituents, I can tell you what they want. I have it right here. Guess what?
I did my research too.
Yeah, guess
go
what?
ahead.
Not one question about like trans people unless it's to protect them. Not one question about abortion even unless it's to protect it, although I'm not in super red. I tried to reach out to other people, but they didn't respond. I'm just saying, like, it's not the top thing on people's mind. What is the top thing on people's mind? They're kind of order in, like, how much people talked about them, how many questions I got about them.
Right. I say what's really the biggest issue right now is ICE. That's the biggest.
Yeah, I did ask these questions before.
Yeah, these are like not just ICE, but our education system with our children.
Yeah, I have education down here,
and also our poverty. Like those.
Yeah,
my things, like I had a whole bunch of lists that I wanted to go down and everything.
So many of these topics just tie back to money and people being poor.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so much that's going on in this world, but I'm just more like at the end of the day. Since I had like so many things that I wanted to talk about, but I'm just more like, look, there's always an everyday problem.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm just more like, throw it at me, and I'll figure out a solution to problem. Let's give it team, but you got to help me to help you.
Let's see what you know. No, so the next topic will be property taxes.
Okay.
Like, is there any specific legislation you would support to lower property taxes?
So I am getting more into that, doing my research on more property taxes. I know that it definitely needs to be lowered, for sure. Like, with these houses, like, how do you expect people to own a $400,000, $500,000 home, have it for 30 plus years? Like, I've been here for like almost 29 years and stuff like that. And the house that I've been living in, my grandmother never had to pay that much money for that house. So I'm just more like, why does it keep going up and up and up? Because the economy keeps going up and up. Yeah. But our wages are not even going up. The math is not mathing.
Well, my thing is they keep cutting things. Like when we had Brownback, they cut all this stuff, but then they never lowered the taxes. So if we're cutting everything, they're taking services away. but not giving us our money back.
Exactly.
Then you can't have it both ways. You can't take all the money and then not provide me anything for the money you take.
Exactly.
I don't mind fulfilling the social contract between a citizen and the government that they say it is.
Right.
I give you money, you give me beautiful libraries and well-kept streets and food in my children's stomach, right? And in exchange, and healthcare, and in exchange for that, I give you a portion of my income so that I make sure our whole society is taken care of, because our society is better when it's that way. And then all these other things, so many other things, just don't even need to be discussed. Healthcare decisions don't need to be discussed.
No, absolutely
People's
not.
personal identities don't need to be even discussed.
No.
I shouldn't even know your religion. Like,
No.
I shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I can tell if people believe in God or not, but I shouldn't know what church you go to, what your specific religious beliefs.
Right.
I shouldn't know any of that unless I'm your friend on Facebook on your personal page. And so it's like, if we got all of that out of government and got people in there that really wanted to focus on doing the work. And there's people that have given up. They don't have any hope that we're going to find people. And
my thing's like, and that is why my campaign is called Faith Over Fear, because
I love that.
Yes, because we have to have
That's
faith.
so good.
We have to have faith that somebody is going to come along and somebody is going to help us out. So my thing is like, if you don't believe anybody's going to go out and help you, believe in me, fight for me. So I can fight for you. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and if
help
you're in a
me
district,
to help you.
if you're in a district where you don't see anybody running that you like, you got till June 1st to run, and the Kansas House is not that expensive, but you can do it. There's so many ways you can get elected. If you want to run for Kansas House, I don't care what party you are, and you're a reasonable person with common sense that wants to do the work, right? I don't care what party you are. Reach out to me at contact@kansashelen.com. I will connect you with people. I will help you. I will do whatever I can to help you have a successful campaign, because we need, like I said earlier, I want to see 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. Since if they're going to make us stay in the 2-party system,
Right.
2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. I want some choices. Many of these House districts out here, we don't have any choices. Like, they don't have choices. There's 3 districts that haven't had a Democrat run that I could find since 2006.
Yeah,
They've been abandoned, right? They've been abandoned. And those districts have like 40% Hispanic because they're out by Garden City where all the plants are. And it's like, they're not even trying. Nobody's even trying to give these people a choice. And there's probably not a lot of people there. You know, it's just finding someone in the district to run,
I feel
right?
like people give up too easy.
So if you're a
because it's too
Democrat in one of
hard.
those districts where no Democrats have been running, please, I would love to see those people have a choice. I have been thinking about an idea.
Okay.
I just don't have time to start another movement right now. But you're so young, you might not remember. Have you ever seen the movie Brewster's Million?
No.
Oh, you gotta look it up.
Okay.
I'm terrible with names. Menopause. I can't remember his name. Funny comedian, black man. Older. Oh, I'm just gonna Google Brewster's Million. Anyway, Brewster's Million. He gets a bunch of money and he decides to run. He has to spend it, but he can't own anything when he's done with it. The point is to make him sick of money, right? By some rich family member, and so he runs this campaign just to spend the money, because campaigns are expensive and you end up with nothing, right? And so he calls it none of the above. Vote for none of the above. And so if somebody wanted to do that, Richard Pryor, my goodness.
Oh, Richard Pryor.
Yeah. So it's you know, if that was an write-ins, I've looked at all the election history since 2006, and so the write-ins, if they get a certain amount, the name gets listed. They have to get over, I don't know what it is, maybe 500 or something. If they get enough votes, they get their own line, and then the other ones get lumped into other write-ins, right? So if enough people, I have to look and see if it has to be a human. I don't know how it works because no one's ever tried this, right? I write in Daisy Duck. That's what I used to do. Now I'm going to write none of the above. But if I don't see a candidate I want to vote for, I write in Daisy Duck. I don't care if it's the president. I don't care if it's this House member, but I'm going to vote. I'm not going to sit home. And I think that these districts where there is just one person that's never been, that's not getting challenged, that gives them something to vote for, that says, there are people out here that don't like this person. If somebody else would run, there's enough of us to support you. There's enough hope here to get something else going. And it gives them someone to go vote for. They get to use their voice. And their voice says, I don't like any of these people.
Right.
None of the above.
I'm glad that you said that because that's literally what my campaign says. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to challenge me.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do because my thing is like, if you're gonna vote for me, you want me in office, and that's what you're supposed to do.
You don't want us to be a bunch of yes man.
I'm not a yes man.
You don't
can
want
ask
everybody
anybody.
running around just saying yes to you all the time.
I do not kiss tail, and I will not.
Telling you how great you are all the time and never pointing out any flaws
No,
because no one's perfect.
Point out my flaws so I can do better. How can I do
respectfully?
better?
It's called constructive criticism.
Exactly.
We all need to work on it.
And I can take constructive criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's just about listening to the people and what they want. And if you're running around talking to your, in the off time, finding out how people feel about things, you're going to know. So would you support requiring landlords to pass property tax reductions on tenants through lower rent? Because 43% of Kansans rent.
Right.
So what do we care about property tax? I don't own a home, and I'm never going to own a home.
Is this more like low income, like Section 8 and stuff like
I'm
that?
talking about anybody. If my landlord is charging me $1,200 a month rent, and then he gets $100 off, he gets his property taxes lowered on the house I'm living in, and he now has to pay $50 less a month. Why should I keep? He just now gets $50 more profit, and I don't get my rent lowered. I'm saying it doesn't. So that makes me as a renter, a lifelong renter, who I've hardly no one in my family owns their homes most of the time, historically. And so even historically, way back when, we're poor. We're poor people. And so we don't really own homes. And so when they start talking about property tax, it doesn't mean nothing to me. Right. My rent's going to be the same.
Exactly.
And then some landlord, most likely in another state, is going to get another $50 a month profit from me. Right. So I think to make people, everyone, the 43%, which is almost half of Kansas, care about whether you lower property tax.
I think yes, we definitely need to lower property tax as well too. Everything needs to match up. Like I said, the money doesn't make sense. How do we keep raising money and raising benefits and raising all this and that, but we can't even afford it?
Cutting services.
Exactly. And like we can't afford all this and that. That's why we're in a struggle. That's why we keep suffering. That's why we're like asking people for handouts, but they're struggling too and stuff like that. We're reaching out to our grandparents. We're reaching out to like other people, and I'm just
my family just swaps $20 around,
and that's
every
what I'm
2
saying.
weeks.
We should not have
Cash
to.
out.
Exactly. Why are we doing that?
I forgot my very first question. I always ask.
Yes.
Do you know what it's like to not have one more penny?
Like
you need to pay a bill and
because
you miss a penny.
I absolutely, because I'm the type of person to go get it. Like I said, I come from a family that goes and gets it and stuff like that. So if I'm looking for it, I'm gonna try to go get it first before I have to.
And you're gonna find that penny.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find that penny by any
you know what
means.
it's like to struggle. That's the thing too, is that we have a lot of people that run for office that are just kind of out of touch with the common person.
And that's why I said I'm running for office, because we have people in office that have never had to get it out the mud. Never had to get it out the mud.
Never.
My thing's like, they don't know the struggles that we go through. So why, like, and then they want to sit here, well, this and that, blah, blah, blah. You come from money. I don't come from money. I had to go get it.
The majority of us do not come from money.
The majority of us do not come from money. We had to go to school. We had to, work 5, 6, 7 jobs just to get to where we're being. Everything happens. So I'm just more like the people that are in office. You can't say anything about us because you never had to struggle.
Yeah, it's just really, it's really hard for me to, like, we just need to get more people in there that didn't have everything handed to them because they know how to do the work. Because they survived, didn't you? You figured out how to eat. You figured out how to keep a house over your head. You know how to survive.
Or their parents gave them a big old loan to go do what they needed to do.
If everything really goes kapooey and society completely collapses, you and I are going to be fine.
I know
we know how to survive.
I know how to survive.
We know how to
God got me.
My daughter once said, I know how to make a home out of anything.
Amen.
So, I know how to survive. These people don't know how to survive.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
What am I going to do?
Yeah. You saw how COVID went. I'm just saying.
They're all going to get whatever disease it is and die off. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is tenant rights and housing stability. So what changes should be made at the Kansas residential landlord and tenants regarding evictions? Like protections for tenants. Do you support like reforms over how long they can have before they evict them or raise their rent? Do you support the right to counsel programs where they get protections?
I'm very big on protection when it comes to evictions and stuff like that because times are hard. I thank God that He's never put me in this position that I've never had to be evicted. But I know other people. I know their stories. I know that like they're trying. They got like 4 or 5 kids, but they're trying to make ends meet. Now they got an eviction notice. How are they supposed to feed their 4 kids?
When somebody when somebody getting sick for a week,
people
and not being able to go to work and not having PTO and not having the money. When you have all this is what I was saying earlier about it all coming back to how we're taking care of people. Because if people had PTO, if they had sick leave, if they were being paid a living wage, all of these issues we're talking about wouldn't be there. Evictions would not be what they are because getting sick for a week, like I got the flu. I was out. I would not have been able to work for a whole week. I was in my room. I lost days. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can't afford half of a paycheck being gone.
And everybody's immune system is different. Like some people can handle the flu. Some people can handle COVID. Some people, everybody's different.
You shouldn't get evicted from your home because you got sick.
Exactly. That is like the most diabolical
honestly,
thing that I've ever heard.
Yeah. I think that you shouldn't get evicted from your home because you have a substance abuse problem, not without somebody recognizing that and having a resource for you to maybe get help with your substance abuse problem.
So
and
with
keep
the
you in your
substance
home,
abuse problem and stuff like that, I feel like definitely they need to be into a program where they can get help and stuff like that.
It's like they don't want to get help. Have they offered them help? Is there real help out there? Not a lot of times. There's not.
Honestly, I can't.
Do they have insurance to pay for the help? I had a daughter that had a drug problem.
I can say in Johnson County, there's a lot of resources.
I guess it depends on where you live.
In Johnson County, there is a lot of resources.
I lived in Cedric.
Get the help from.
I lived in Cedric County, and she's fine now. It was a very short trip, but she was 17, so we kind of I wanted to get her inpatient somewhere immediately, right? And we had good insurance, and I couldn't find anywhere that took our insurance and would take her to an in-house treatment, like detox, all that stuff.
Because the system doesn't care.
Yeah, there's just not enough of them. And then if they don't have good health insurance, even if there was one, you can't pay for an inpatient 6-week program. And some of these drugs, to stop them, you can't just stop them. You have to go, you have to detox, or you could die. So if they don't have the ability to go inpatient at least for a week, and they don't have insurance to go inpatient for a week, and the inpatient places that are full up, and they don't take your insurance or whatever, so that's not really any help that they can get.
Right.
So when you don't have the resources for them to get the help to get off drugs so they can stay working so they can pay for the house, it all just comes right back. And there's always going to be a portion of people that it doesn't work on. And
to me, I feel like there's always a solution to everything. So for the healthcare system, definitely a solution. For the drugs, people on drugs, there's definitely a solution. For income to be lowered, there's always a solution. You just have to find the right.
I just don't think that the solutions they're using right now, sometimes it feels like it makes them worse. Putting people in jail all the time doesn't help.
Just thinking about money. That's that's our problem. Everybody's thinking about money. It does always
come back to money, because that's why they want all these people in jail, is because they're all making money off of it.
Everybody's making money off of it.
It doesn't have to be a for-profit prison either. Look at our state-ran prisons. It's all about making money.
Everything's based off money.
Comes down to
everything. At the end of the day, and my thing is I'm trying
to make the have-nots. My mom used to say.
At the end of the day, I'm trying to make people comfortable. That's what I'm trying to do. That's my goal for everybody, is to make them comfortable, not struggling, not figuring out what's their next meal, their next, how they're going to pay this rent. How are we going to live comfortably? How are we going to get there?
Basic needs.
Exactly. Why are our basic needs not met?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if you've ever. I love Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but where he talks about you have to have these baseline needs met: security, food, housing, all these things before you can reach what he calls self-actualization at the top.
Right.
So before you can have a friend group and get a relationship and have children and have a successful career, whatever it is that it builds to your actuality, it starts with your basic needs being met. And if you don't have those things, it's really hard to get any higher in the chain.
Because nobody wants to see nobody win.
I don't understand it.
Nobody wants to see nobody win. I don't understand that. I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody eat. Even if it's not at my table, I still want to see you eat.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people with this, with the DeAndre Hill police shooting in Wichita, is that I'm not going to argue with them about his character anymore and who he was, because they don't know, and I do know, and I'll tell you right now, his family knows. Mm-hmm. And so I just say something like, you know, I'm not going to waste my time. I have a very professional thing I copy and I paste into there. I've had to say this so many times to people because they say such horrible things. And I just say, you know, I don't have time to deal with somebody that's this far gone, that just immediately believes what police say, especially in their own police shooting. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you need to be like, rah, police, but you need to step back and like take a second. And so I post it and I'm just like, but I'll let you know that if the Wichita Police Department ever do this to you or someone you love, I will fight for you just as hard, no matter what you post.
Well, one thing I can say about the police force, and I feel like it's just with everybody. This is why I'm so strong on everybody knowing their rights. Because if you know your rights, they would not be messing with you.
Well,
they would not know.
Not in this situation with DeAndre.
But I don't know too much about DeAndre's situation, so I can't say that. But I've been telling, especially colored folks, know your rights. Know your rights. That is the most important thing. If you don't know anything, know your rights.
I taught my kids, you know, and they're white kids, from a very young age to not necessarily not trust the police, but to have.
You're supposed to trust the police.
I just want everybody to have a little bit of level of skepticism too, right? Because they are still human.
Right.
There is a lot of corruption within police forces, and we know that they're not all bad. But I think that people. The point I thought about the other day is that people that support the police, that do believe that they are more good than bad, right? Mm-hmm. Is that then they should be upset about this too, because, you know, when they do something like this, that is so, I know you haven't looked into it, but that a lot of people feel is so obviously not what they should have done. It was bad and it shouldn't have happened, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's, I don't think there was any like anger or racism. I think it was just, they didn't follow their training and they made wrong choices, and so they get upset,
right.
And they want they just want some things to change, and it's making the whole police department look bad, and you'd think they would want to.
My thing is like I said, every police department is different, and I know a little bit when it comes to the police department because my brother, like, I don't know if anybody has seen, like, you know, my TikToks or my Facebook and stuff like that, but I've been doing my own investigation when it comes to my brother Malcolm Hornet. He ended up getting, you know, murdered and stuff like that. I've been on it and stuff like that. And I've been on, like, you know, the detectives about this. This is not making sense. This is not making sense. So like, I'm definitely in a fight with, you know, the police department about, you know, getting justice for my brother and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Then you know how to fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you can, look.
Yeah, my thing's like, I'm in this for
elect her.
Everybody.
Look, if you've ever been in a battle with the police department over something, whether it's whatever it is, and crazy. you got to stay on them. You got to stick with them. You got to be bugging them. And if you got that kind of tenacity,
have to.
If you got the kind of tenacity to try to seek justice for somebody, regardless of who killed them in this system, is a lot of work, and it takes dedication, and you can't let up. And it can be years. You got to go and push. To. And so,
but that's an everyday life. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep going. You cannot stop. You got to keep fighting for what you want. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you're gonna keep getting no. You're gonna keep getting no. You got to keep going until you get your yes. You gotta fight. You have to keep pushing. You just got to.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna do it if you don't?
Well, no. I found that they're always like, we got to save ourselves. Well. Yeah, it's like part of saving ourselves to me is electing the proper people.
Exactly.
I still believe in the process.
You have to put the right people in the right office. At this point, we're just putting people in office that just has money. No, put people in office.
Whoever raises the most wins.
Exactly. So like what? No, put people in office that been through the stuff that you've been through. My thing is like, you're not gonna understand. Like just for. Like me and you probably not gonna understand the things that I go through. I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
I'm a black woman.
I can try as hard as I want.
Exactly. You can try as hard as you want to, but as soon as you're in my shoes, you're gonna be like, wow. Like people tell me every day, I'm surprised you have not written a book. I'm surprised your life is not a movie. Like this is a whole movie. I'm just like, bro, you don't want my life. I'm telling you, you don't want it because it's a mess. It's crazy. It's a fight every day just to even get up.
Yeah.
It is.
But you keep getting up,
But
and you're here doing
yeah,
this interview.
I got
You're trying to go to the state house.
Yes, I got a baby. You know, this and that.
That's
so
what we.
I'm trying to fight for people.
Just regular people. You're just one
We
of their
are.
neighbors. You live in this district.
I see it. I see it from my own eyes. So it's like you can't tell me because I see it.
I see it.
I see it. You're not telling me anything that I don't see.
Yeah, you're part of the community. You hear what they want. You hear what they're
saying.
It's not going to be hard for you to go fight for them because you already have.
Right. I'm part of the community.
You're part of the community.
I'm a part of it.
We need to just start sending some regular people in there that are going to fight for us regardless of what the issue is. So, we talked about Starbucks a little bit earlier, and I sent you some information on those because they are very complicated.
Right.
And that's the thing, too, I was saying earlier is that people need to have, I don't want to say lower your expectations of a Kansas House person, but you should not expect Kansas House representatives that have never ran before or held any public office, which are the kind of people we want because they're not just trying to be political career people. You should not expect them to have come at you with policy at this point, even before the primary. They're still learning. They're just regular people, right? How much do you really know about star bonds? Are you an expert on star bonds yet?
I'm not gonna lie. When you told me that, I was just like, what? So I did my little research of what you told me and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I know. Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about. I've heard a little bit about it and stuff like that. Not too.
It's a big issue.
I've heard it's a big issue. So I'm just like, okay, that's another.
But I think that a lot of it, I need to get those Substacks out there so everyone can see it. But there's just a lot of misinformation about star bonds. I'm not saying I'm for or against them. I don't, what I try to do when I write my stuff and put out like the star bond stuff is I'm not trying to have an opinion.
Correct.
I'm trying to just put out the facts about star bonds. I like a lot of data, spreadsheets.
Right. I got to see the facts.
So that's the truth to me, and I try to leave opinion out of it as much as possible when I'm doing things like that. I don't, unless it's something I know really well, I feel like I'm an expert on and I have a strong opinion about.
Correct.
But otherwise, I don't have a strong opinion on star bonds. But I do see that there's a lot of misinformation out there that is not being explained properly, and people aren't understanding how they work. And so I do want to get those out there.
So like I said, like this is my first time like really knowing about it and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm a big research person.
You were like, send me all you got.
Send me all the information. I'll break it all down and I can explain it all.
Yeah, and I keep it in I try to keep it in more like layman's terms. I have a background in, a little about me. I have a background in educationally wise in communications. I was a bookkeeper. I did not ever make money off the education I'm using right now, which I basically have one class away from a degree in integrated marketing communication from Wichita State. And so, it's a great program. So it teaches a little PR, a little marketing, a little journalism, video editing, all sorts of stuff.
Correct.
And so, where was I going with that? They're going to do this all the time.
And we just get the chatting in.
My point, I want to learn things, and I'm very analytical about it, and I do have a journalist soul. Hunter S. Thompson in high school was my hero, and then later on, Seymour Hersh. I don't know if you know a lot of people don't know his name, but they know his work, and so I just want to get the truth out there. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it fits my narrative. I don't care.
And that's what I'm saying. We need to know the truth. Nobody in this
That's what I'm saying. We need to send someone like you that will go in there.
They don't want to tell people the truth. They're like, oh, that's not a good look. No, forget all that. This is what's happening. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to be prepared for.
Forget about the next election. If I get elected to something and I only got one term, I'm going to go in there and fight as hard as I can to do what I think is right and to get the truth out. And if I only get one term, people don't want to elect me again because of that.
Oh well.
And I guess don't elect me.
But that's the thing about people. People don't want to hear the truth. I want to know the truth. Prepare me. I want to know.
I think part of the problem is this is what point I was going to make earlier. I think part of the problem is that there's comprehension levels.
Definitely.
And so being able to break down these bills and these things that they have purposefully made very difficult to people in a way that they can comprehend, right? And the thing is if you want to reach the most people, you got to keep it at a third grade level. I can't go that low. So I usually say to try to keep it at an 8th grade level when you're trying to talk to somebody. And if you can't take a complex issue and talk about it at an 8th grade level, then you don't really understand it. That's what I heard. So, so when I do my writing, when I do my things, I try to keep it 8 to 12th grade level. I do want it to be a little smart because it is all about data. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go too high, I know a lot of people, very smart, well-educated people that know a lot of big fancy words.
Right.
But if you're saying all that, if I got to Google a word every 5 seconds when you're talking,
just talk to them like a regular person.
Talk to them like a regular person. I know really smart people that do talk like that all the time, but you got to be, you got to explain things to people at the level you got to meet people where they're at.
I was about to say that.
Meet people where they're at.
You have to meet people where they're at. And my thing is like, it's not them talking to, because everybody is different. They come from all different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the whole point of IEPs, parent-teacher conference meeting. Some people are just, not at that level, or even if they are at that level and stuff like that, like you said, meet them where they're at.
I think there's a certain amount of people, no matter how many facts or whatever I put in front of them, they're going to be like, duh. But I think the majority...
At that point, people just don't care.
Yeah, I think that's not the majority. I don't think
point.
That's the majority of people, though. I think the majority of people... they don't have the time to dig and do 6 articles about star bonds.
Yeah.
Who's got the time for that, to do the research on that, right? Not the everyday citizens don't have the time on that.
Right.
And so it needs to be broken down to them by somebody. And like I said, there's too much going on. The media's not really doing it. And so, I think that is a part of the job of our legislature, is to educate the public on the truth.
Right.
Not spread misinformation,
Exactly.
not spread propaganda, not just spread their party talking points.
Right.
I think people are real sick of that on both sides, and I think that's one reason that Trump won, is because they were just so sick of people just talking like robots and just wanted someone just to talk to them like a normal, just talk to me.
But also, one thing I can't say about Trump is just going to say whatever he wants to say too,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. And I
Especially
think that's
now.
why a lot of people did vote for him, is because they were
desperate. They wanted something different, and he was different.
Yep.
That's, you know what I mean? And they're not out there there's just so much misinformation out there, and I think a lot of it has to do with educating the populace. And I think that you, as a Kansas House rep, especially at that level, are learning so much. And as you learn, you should teach us.
Right.
As you learn,
I believe in teaching as I go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very strong on that, teaching as I go. Because my thing is like, I just learned something new. Let me teach them that.
And I like the way, you're going to teach it I bet you do great videos. I'll have to check it out. You're going to teach it in an entertaining way that isn't like going to make me fall asleep.
No. My thing's like, I'm not going to do nothing boring. I like to keep everything
You're
like interested.
Like a person.
Just talk.
Yeah. So, there's like SNAP and food assistance. What are your thoughts on SNAP? I should just tell you the topic and ask your thoughts on SNAP and food assistance.
I feel like we should still keep it.
Keep it.
Yes, I
feed
definitely.
The people.
Yes,
feed the children.
Because I'm gonna be like very vulnerable and stuff like that. There was a time where I had to have that.
Me too.
I definitely had to have that.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that. How was I gonna? I'm a single mother. I'm going to school. I'm doing. I got X, Y, and Z on my plate. I'm trying to figure out how I'm about to do this. I can't always, ask my mom or ask my grandparents. I got my own.
Everybody's broke.
Everybody, exactly. Everybody was broke.
They're just like, oh, that's too bad. Go to the pantry.
Exactly. And my thing is like, not even the food pantry can even help you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, no. I have been in that position where I've had to have that before.
Yeah.
So I would never knock anybody for wherever they come from and how they're going to get it. At the end of the day, ain't nobody paying nobody else's bills but you.
I think a lot of people that have had it in the past and now don't need to speak out about how it helped them, because I was on it too. I had 4 kids. I was on it too, and we did what we were supposed to do. We did the work. We went to college. We got off of it. We elevated ourselves as much as we could with education, and then you could only elevate yourself so high when you're hitting a brick wall of the economy and all these choices.
And then with everything going up and up and up and up, it's just like, we're not winning.
We're not winning.
We're not winning.
No.
And when do we get to breathe? When can I sit down? You can't.
And it's like, if you look, people talk crap on Kansas, like Republicans talk about how awful it is. And I don't know how they can try to blame Democrats. I know we have a Democrat governor right now. But
no, you guys cannot do that. No,
everybody
needs to look within themselves and take accountability for their actions.
Republicans have had power over the states forever, since 1992, right?
Yes.
So they can literally pass anything they want right now. They can pass whatever they wanted. They can do whatever they want right now, because even if she vetoes it, they have the majority to override her veto, right? And what are they doing with it? Not the work. I just want people in there going to do the work. I don't care what letter is behind your name. I want you in there for the right reasons. We're supposed to be arguing about whether we want big states or little states. That's supposed to be big state power versus big federal power. That's supposed to be the baseline difference between a Republican and a Democrat. That's it. Everything else, it's a matter of differing on how solutions should be, what solution is going to be best or whatever. And different districts have different needs, and they might go fight for their district and lose. But at the end of the day, they're doing the work.
I think it's like the work is what shows the facts. That's the evidence. That's the proof. That's how you know people are out here actually doing it for the people and not just doing it just to do it.
Yeah.
It's too much talking for me and not enough action. And I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing with my life.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're just not taking it seriously enough. Some of them. You're making life altering decisions in there for some people. You're making decisions that make people leave our state.
Yes.
Because they're scared. Like, why? What? You know, and so they're just not taking it seriously. And it drives me nuts. I want to go in there and just yell at them all. All right, so next is childcare.
Oh, yeah.
And so do you know anything about the recent changes that they just did to the Kansas child care laws? I'm not an expert on it. I just know what I've seen online. I know the person that asked this question.
I have not seen anything new, but I definitely don't mind like getting into it and stuff like that.
Like Kelly made a lot of changes, and like she made that whole office that's going to be dedicated to it, which I think is great. And then there's I think they lowered like the requirements needed for daycare workers and maybe to be registered as a home daycare.
Okay, so that.
But the goal is to have that office that will then do more oversight, which is a problem we have now. They're not.
My only thing with child care is how much it costs.
Yeah.
Because it's almost as much as rent. And I'm sorry, no, that
Here's the thing
ridiculous.
I'm trying to get out there about, I talked to Ashley Rowland. She's running down in House District 2. God bless her. Brave soul down in District 2. But she works, she does the phone calls. She does the interviews, the intake interviews. And I found out that the income requirements for daycare assistants are way higher than, they are way higher than food assistants. And I don't think they advertise that, but there are so many more people that could get daycare assistants than do. Like it was like $8,500 a month for a family of 5, and you can get daycare assistants. And I was like, I don't know anybody that makes $8,500 a month. Besides my son-in-law that I live with, I don't know, like everybody I know would qualify for daycare assistance. So if you need daycare assistance, you need to go check out, Google it, daycare assistance Kansas, and you'll see you probably qualify to get some help because it's there. The money's there waiting to be used.
But not everybody qualifies for it. So you have to think about the people that don't qualify for it.
No, it definitely needs to be lowered.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the
It's
people that don't
insanity.
qualify, I'm not just here just to help people that can get on benefits. I'm trying to also help the people that can't qualify for it either. Because my thing is, like, there are single parents that have, like I said, 4 children that are doing it by themselves. That it's cost as much as rent. And for one child is like $600-800.
Yeah.
For one? That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's crazy.
I worked at a daycare for like 6 months, and I know that woman that ran it was a center, but it was just like singly owned by a woman. I know she wasn't raking it in.
Right.
But there's not a lot of money in it, unfortunately, and it's very expensive.
Children
sometimes.
are just $1.
And
That's
so
how people see it.
yeah.
Children are just money. Everybody's money. You have to see it at the end of the day.
I think that we should have free daycare, just like public
We
schools.
should have, honestly,
I think that it's never too early to start educating our children.
There's nothing wrong with getting an education.
Yeah,
like, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
And look at all the protections kids have in public schools and all these rules and stuff. We just gotta, it's the same stuff. We just take it down the line, and then we just take all of our kids to the school if we want to. Like, they don't have to be in school till they're 5, but here's the thing: if you want to bring your kids here, and we're going to do them preschool, and we're going to educate them, and we're going to make sure that they're taken care of safely.
There is Head Start, so
yeah. I mean, I just think we need to invest more money into those programs.
We definitely do. Like, we need to invest our money into schooling,
education.
We need to yes, education for sure. We need education. We need food and poverty, like all that.
Healthcare.
My thing is, like, we are spending money. Excuse me, but we are spending our money on ridiculous, crazy stuff. We are like. It's like the whole Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm never going to agree. I'm not going to agree with that and stuff like that. That's just me. That's just my opinion. Like, my thing is, like, we're putting our money like into everything. And for us, for our taxes, like as much as money Kansas gets, we're not using our money where it needs to be going.
Yeah, we gotta make, and it's all the way down the line to what we do in a lot of the cities too, is like, they need to first focus on making this somewhere that's good for the people living there,
right,
and meeting their basic needs. And then we can worry about bringing in tourism or visiting our state.
We need to
and
take
all
care
these
of
other
home
things.
first before we're
not when home is so neglected.
Yes.
It's like if I don't clean my house and I let my house get destroyed, but I'm running out here doing a bunch of other stuff and I'm not taking care of my house and it's gross. Like,
it's
we gotta clean
moldy,
house first.
You're gonna have all these infested.
You're gonna have to just tear it down.
Yeah.
Nobody's cleaning the house.
You're gonna have
the
to
state
throw
house.
everything out.
The state house is dirty. And we need to send you in there to clean it up.
Hey, if you send me to clean it up, it's gonna get clean.
It's gonna get clean.
It's gonna be deep clean.
Exactly. That's what we need. We need people that are gonna go in there, tell us the truth, reveal the dirt so we know where to clean it.
My thing is, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything, baby. This is what it is, and this is what it ain't. I don't know what to tell you, but this is how it is, and this is what we're gonna do to make it do better.
Yeah.
We gotta have a plan. We have to have a plan. That is my goal: is to have a plan for anything and everything that we're trying to do.
And if we don't know, we ask.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. A closed mouth does not get fed. You have to open up your mouth. Like I said, you got to help me to help you. How can I help you if you're not telling me what the problem is? I can't do it by myself. I can't. You have to tell me the issue. You got to tell me the problem. You got to let me know so I can help you with it.
And then you'll listen. The problem is that people are telling some of them.
And
they're not listening. The reps aren't listening. They're telling them and they're telling them and they're testifying in front of them and all this stuff, and nobody's listening.
But also one thing that we also have to realize, at the end of the day, we still have laws. We still have rules and regulations that we still have to go by too. So my thing is like, I
think that comes back to education, just educating people on what the reality is. Because sometimes politicians, like in certain cases, they say they say they can't say things. Oh, I can't talk on that till an investigation's done. When that's not really true. They're choosing to not talk on it because legal people told them not to. So that's not the truth. I don't like being lied to.
Right, exactly. That's why I said know your rights, you guys.
Know the truth.
Know the truth.
Don't just believe people.
They tell you anything that y'all want to hear. No, stop doing that. Go and do the research for yourself. And if you're not going to do the research,
Google search.
Exactly. Even if you're not going to do the time to work, put somebody in office that's going to do the work for you so you don't have to do it.
Yeah, just hang out with some nerd that likes to research stuff and is obsessed with politics, and they'll tell you. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not going to do all that.
No, I mean, I do all the research on all of these topics. I could talk about how I mean, a lot of these topics I think I would have, I have a lot of knowledge on, just because I'm like, what's a star bond?
Yeah.
You know, if they hadn't done that Chiefs thing, I never would have learned what star bonds were. Right? But they did that Chiefs thing, and I was like, what's a star bond? How do these work? Should I be mad about this? Should I be mad about this is what my first step is. Should I really be mad about this? Because I know, like, the people in my circle are being mad about it. But I don't just go with it and be like, yeah, star bonds suck. It's our money. I am like, what are star bonds? And I just like, what's a star bond? I'm like, that's not what I've heard people say. Let me look, and I just
my thing is like, deeper. It's very important to do the research yourself so you know what you're getting into. Not if you, like, even if I was the one like in office and I'm telling you stuff, go behind my words, look up the facts, show the proof. I'm big on
if you're gonna vote and you're gonna go online and start spouting off your opinions about bills and stuff,
make sure you know what you're talking about.
Just make sure you know what you're talking about. Don't spread misinformation.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, when people start coming out the side of their neck talking about crazy stuff, that
is not reality. Like, you live in a different reality than me. I feel like some people live in a different reality.
I have to control my face when people say crazy stuff. I do.
Don't just believe what the TV says, or even what I say. Don't believe what I say from my Substack. Use that information.
Exactly.
And take it further and go verify that what I'm saying is true. If someone on TikTok, I've seen TikToks where I'm like about supposed ICE stuff in Wichita, right?
Right.
And so I contacted my people that I know what's going on in Wichita when it comes to that. And I'm like, is this guy put this video out, is this true?
I'm not gonna lie. So like what you said about the whole ICE situation, like when they were like on the news talking about all that, Worlds of Fun and everything, I went up there myself to go see.
Was that supposedly ICE? See, I didn't even know that. I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm about to go see for myself. And I drove up there myself from Kansas all the way to Missouri to go see it for myself. I need to see it for myself.
Yeah, I heard about that
I have
case.
to see stuff for
well, the
myself.
thing is that people are recording it live and showing us the truth.
They can't. Yeah.
Like, you're telling me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing with my own eyes.
Yes.
You can't do that anymore. You can't tell me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
that it's happening right now, not edited, not later,
Yeah.
right now. And so you can't tell me what I didn't see with my own eyes.
Exactly.
And
Do the research.
more people are waking up. I think more people are waking up to the fact
I hope that
they're
they're
not being
waking
told
up.
the
They
truth.
need to, because I'm just more like, what are we doing, y'all?
And
Get it together.
And they're having trouble finding people that they can trust to tell them the truth.
It's that, and
You're gonna have to see
my
the
thing is,
truth yourself.
we cannot get mad at the people for not being able to trust. You know, it's like they've been lied to so many times. Like, my thing is like me, how they know I'm not gonna lie to them? They don't know that, but they have to have that trust in me that I'm not gonna do them dirty like that.
Yeah, especially at this stage where you don't have any. I can look at like a campaign finance report if you were running last year. I don't know when you actually officially entered the race, so you probably don't have a campaign finance report. But at this point, at this stage in the game, a Kansas House rep or any politician or anybody going out for election that's never ran before, you don't have a political history to look at. So all you can look at is like what their education is, what their knowledge is about, and hopefully you've met them in person. If they're doing the job, then you've met them in person, and you can go off their vibe a little bit. But you got to go off of all those things. You can't just go off of vibes. You can't just go off the way they talk or the way they look. You know, you got to look at their totality of who they are.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very important to know who a person is and stuff like that. You
to make a reasonable decision.
Exactly.
You never know what someone's gonna do.
You could know somebody, you know, like I said, at church and stuff like that. That doesn't mean you know them behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that. You do not know a person until you really know a person.
Yeah.
So it's very important who you know. Yes.
Yeah, I just think that people need to just
get it together.
Just Google things. Just look them up.
Get it together.
They put all this information out on websites, and
my thing is like the internet is the most powerful thing that a person
it's all
has.
out there.
You
Look,
have phones. You have everything that you need on your phone.
Everything I've learned, I don't come to a great library like this to learn. I learn it sitting mostly on my phone.
Yes.
I mostly learn about things on my phone, and then I copy and paste them to look at later. I have so many lists of things, you know, but I read books and stuff, but like most of the stuff I find on the phone.
We have great technology too. My thing is like
there's just no excuse for people not to know the truth about.
We have a lot of resources that people don't want to use. We have a lot of resources. People are just honestly.
What I tell people is just
being lazy.
I tell people, like, if they are starting to wake up and want to care, what I did was I focused first on my local city politics.
Right.
You know, and then once I kind of felt the grasp of that, I went to the state, because it's a lot to take in, right? And then you can't be an advocate or whatever for every single one of these topics I have on here. So what you do is you pick a couple topics that mean the most to you, that, and then you go hard on politicians about that.
Right.
You know, you're the animal rights lady. We have an animal rights lady in Kansas. That is her thing in Wichita. She's doing a great job calling out the police department and everything on how they're treating the animals. That's her thing, is animal rights, you know. And then so everybody's kind of got their thing that they're passionate about.
Right.
So you pick a couple topics you're really passionate about, you focus on being as educated on those as you can, and you push back on politicians when they say the wrong thing.
Right.
And, you know, and I think that's where I started, just focusing on your state politics and not so much on the federal. Not that it's not important, but it's like your city council and what's happening at that state house have way more immediate impact on your life, your everyday life, in good times or bad. We're in unprecedented times right now, but overall, whoever your city council is and whoever is in your state house have so much more impact on your immediate life that they deserve your attention.
Yes.
If we were paying better attention and talking about it and pushing back, they would know they couldn't get away with this stuff. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, there's things like gun policy.
I do. Okay, so when it comes to gun policy, I definitely do believe in gun policy. I definitely do, just with this world going on and stuff like that. People breaking into people's houses. It just the world is not what it used to be, where you could just go outside and play and kids not being snatched up. And so yes, but I do believe in having, you know, laws and rights of how gun control should be handled too.
Yeah.
Because people just be out here just shooting people.
Yeah,
And I do believe that
it's a balance, right?
Yeah, and then also I do believe that there should be an age limit. I feel like it should be a little higher, because my thing is like at 21. I think I just don't agree at 21.
Well, if you can't have a beer, why can't you have a gun?
Exactly.
They need to change one of them.
That's why
you can get married and buy a gun, but you can't drink a beer. You know what I mean? It's like, it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
And do you support red flag laws? Do you know what those are? Like when they take their guns because they've been convicted of a domestic violence, or they've been picked up. A lot of times there's a domestic violence thing. They'll pick up the offender, and if they have guns, they'll hold their guns until a judge says they can have their guns back.
Yes, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely believe that. Because my thing is like, you don't know why.
I think waiting periods for 3 days, I don't think it's that big a deal to make you wait 3 days for your gun.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a little ridiculous. If you're gonna
it's proven statistically that if somebody very few people that do these shootings,
right.
Maybe not the big ones. A lot of those get planned, but the just everyday shootings you see that are based on something is because they got mad, they went and bought a gun and a legal gun at a gun store or whatever. And so I think waiting periods would be good. I think that just once again education on how to properly use a gun, how to handle a gun if you see a gun,
and the proper training.
We have to talk about the guns, right? A lot of people that are anti-gun don't even want us to talk about the guns, but we have to talk about the guns. We have to talk with our kids about guns. They need to know what to do if they find one and not to touch it, and it's all.
But so my thing is like, right, say that we got rid of guns and stuff like that. So what are the police supposed to do when somebody's coming in your house or a intruder's coming in your house and just, are we getting rid of the police guns too?
I have a lot of opinions on the police and their guns.
I mean, I know that, but
police come in after
I'm just saying in general.
I'm saying that in general, police are coming in after the fact, after they've already come into your home and done whatever's going to happen.
That is true.
Then the cops come in. They don't prevent that from happening. Cops don't prevent that from happening.
Right.
But I think that I think that it all comes back to a lot of other things. It doesn't come back to good guys with guns. It comes back to mental health care. It comes back to people not being in poverty and being desperate, so they're robbing liquor stores. It comes back to people having their basic needs met to where they're not desperate out there robbing people.
And that's why I was saying, like, with the gun and everything.
And mental health care.
That's what I was about to say. With the whole gun care and everything, I really feel like, people who need to take a mental test. Because just to see where their level is at and stuff like that. Because people just be buying guns and pay for it, get the license, and just.
There's Steve Hofstetter has a joke about it. He's like, look, we all know somebody that shouldn't have a gun, and they have a gun. You got a cousin Earl or whatever. You're like, that man does not, or that lady is nuts. She gets set off by everything. She shouldn't have a gun. Who's giving that crazy lady a gun? So but then it's like, Second Amendment. But the point of the Second Amendment is ultimately so we're supposed to be able to protect ourselves against the government. But the problem is that the government has drones and tanks and bombs and nuclear weapons.
More for military.
I don't care how many that dude I met up in Nebraska has, how many M16s he's got in his basement. At the end of the day, if they wanted to just send out a little drone and they could. Right. So, are we really is it really worth the trade-off that we have guns to partially protect ourselves from the government, all the damage that they're causing as well? It's like a culture thing. There are plenty of other countries, and I think that's the thing too, is that Americans get stuck in this idea that we're number one, we're the best, and nobody else can do it better than us. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of other countries, like Australia and stuff, where everyone still has guns, but they're really big on teaching education and all this other stuff.
Every country
it's a culture thing.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's like harder to change the gun culture mindset.
Because we're really more about protecting ourselves. That's why everybody wants a gun. It's because we really truly
I'm 48 and I've never needed a gun to protect myself. I mean, and not that things haven't happened to me, but of course,
by the grace of God.
It would probably most likely be taken from me and used on me if I had a gun. You can't have a gun unless you're prepared to break it out and use it. And I mean, I don't know. My dad had some guns. My family just doesn't have guns. We managed to be, survive without them. I have recently thought about buying just like a rifle just to keep locked up somewhere with no bullets in it.
Right, but is that just for you to have, or is that for you to protect?
It's for me to protect now.
Right.
So now I'm saying I'm starting to be like, yeah, maybe I do like this. I just want like a gun. I don't want an arsenal. Right. I don't need enough ammo to kill. No regular person needs enough ammo to kill 300 people. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was just thinking it wouldn't hurt to have something in the house.
Like I said, it's just for
protect
protection.
myself from
it's a peace thing.
The federal government, should they come knocking on my half Hispanic daughter's door. I'm just saying, we are very concerned about ICE. You wanted to talk about ICE. We can talk about ICE. I was very concerned about ICE because I live in Topeka in the Oakland neighborhood, and it is like the largest population of Hispanic people in Topeka. It's been there since the 1800s. It's very supported by the local community. It's very supported by the city. It's very supported. It's got a great Kansas House rep. It's got great representation. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because they'll go in there and just do whatever they want. And my daughter's half Hispanic, and she has a Hispanic last name. Right. So we now are not letting her. We don't like her driving around alone. And she's taking her birth certificate on her just in case. And my daughter's a citizen, born and raised in Kansas. She's got to keep her papers on her. This is it's crazy.
One thing that people have to realize at the end of the day when it comes to ICE is that they are a federal agency.
Yeah, so what can you do as a Kansas House rep?
So for a federal agency, they still have laws and, they have to follow too. They're just like the FBI, CIA. They still have rules and stuff like this and that. I recommend if you are, here without papers and stuff like that, you definitely need to get legal counsel. I definitely highly recommend that. But if like you said your daughter?
My daughter,
your daughter, she has her papers, she's here legally and stuff like that. Ask them, are you being detained?
Yeah.
Are you being detained? If you're not, quietly shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Get in your car. Don't sign anything. Exactly. Get in your car and go home. Go wherever you need to.
If they do take you and put you in a van, don't say nothing.
My thing's and even with that, when they are taking you and stuff like that, people are getting beat up. People are just getting beat up.
That's what I was saying. Her husband was like, well, she'll get let out. She's an American citizen. I said, yeah, after she gets traumatized for 8 hours. I'd rather her not have to go through that at all. I'd rather
But
just
also,
look at her
you
paper.
need to be careful because from what I just found out yesterday, there's a ICE car that has an Uber sticker on and just going around and Pollard, I think it's Popular or some street, and he's just going around just going around and stuff like that. No, that needs to be stopped.
Yeah, they do have a whole fleet of ICE SUVs in Kansas City. I don't know where those are going, but I welcome it. Let's spend the money. I want to know who they are. I want them to all have the same uniform. Let's spend the money on that. Let them all have the same. If we can't get rid of them, I want to know who they are. I want to see a vehicle that is identified.
People be lying. People be faking.
Just like the police. Police don't. I mean, we do have undercover cops and stuff, but at the end of the day, most of the police are driving around in regular vehicles, and they're easily identifiable that the cop is driving down your street. And but
even with the cops and stuff like that, they still have to identify themselves. They still have to do that. So if you can't identify yourself,
they're not in masks.
Exactly.
There are people getting just snatched up. Most of the stuff they're wearing, I bought last year or the year before for my friend's kid for Christmas. A vest that said, SWAT on it because he wanted to be a little SWAT guy. And so I bought him all this stuff. And and so it's like anybody can buy that on the internet and put a mask over their face. It's just common sense.
It is.
It's just common sense. But what can the state government do? What can our state government do to protect them coming in and doing that? I just don't know if there's anything they can do.
Yes, they can't. My thing is, you're right. No, if you don't, like I said,
they can educate people.
Not just only educate people. People can go on the internet and educate themselves. Literally type up, ICE and stuff like that. What can they do and what can they not do? They are immigrations.
But if they don't,
my thing is they can come and knock on your door. You do not have to open up your door. They can come in with the warrant and stuff like that.
They are breaking people's doors in without warrants.
Yes, and that is another reason why even when they are kicking in your door and stuff like that, you better make sure you're calling the police.
Yeah,
you better be making sure you have your protection, your rights and stuff like that. Because I did hear about.
I just don't know if there's a lot the state can do to. I seriously have been trying to look into exactly how it works legally, right? Legally, what can we pass laws in Kansas? Well, no, because they'll be superseded by federal law, right? There's certain things that we have there are certain rights that as states we gave up to the federal government long ago in early 2000s because of 9/11, right? So after 9/11, that's when ICE got created. That's when DHS got created. That's when all of this stuff started, and we gave them all this money. And now we all know now a lot of it was based on fear tactics and not necessarily the truth. And so, but now we're here. And we gave up our rights back then as a state to tell them they can't come here. We gave up our rights back then as a state to tell them what they can and can't do in our state by, those laws being passed. And so it's what can be, people want the representatives to do something, but I just don't know if there's anything. that you
There's
legally can do to stop them from coming in here to do what they're doing. You can take care of it after the fact. You can help clean up the damage. You can help educate somebody on their rights. But at the end of the day, if ICE agents want to come into my house and snatch my daughter up and fly her down to Texas to keep her there as long as they want and not let her out, they can do that. And there's like, who can stop them from doing that? You know, and so I think that like people put too much, they expect too much out of some of their state politicians.
I just feel like there's not enough fight back, in my opinion.
Somebody fight back, you get killed.
That is true. That is true.
And so then it's, what do we do? We're gonna go to war? We've discussed. I'm a fighter, but I'm not a.
Right. So, I'm
not a combat veteran.
It's been brought to my attention when it does come to the ICE, you know, because people have came to me about this situation.
I think the state can protect them with stand your ground laws.
You definitely stand your ground laws for sure, but they're like, okay, so what? You know, even like my people, they're like, okay, so what? What if they come and, you know, snatch black people up and stuff like that? I'm just going to be honest with you. The day that somebody tries to do that and tries to snatch a black people, and we have fought for this country and we built this country, I feel like this is just going to be another
They
part
are picking up Native Americans.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like, hello.
My thing's like, no, this country is going to be in, you think World War II was bad and Martin Luther King was bad.
There are some things that
we're not gonna just let somebody come in our house and just snatch us up out our own
That's
place.
true. Y'all know how to fight back.
We're not gonna do that.
That's why they.
We're not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen.
Like they're going after like Somali community in Minnesota and stuff, but yeah.
And I honestly feel like they're going after not just because of you guys and stuff like that, because it's fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's fear. You guys run. They run.
White people stop running.
Stop. My thing is like, and then my thing is like, this does not just affect black people. This does not just affect Hispanic people and just colored people. This affects white people too.
Yeah,
this affects white people because a man just got murdered in like I think in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
a white man just got murdered.
I'm very disappointed in my people.
And my thing is like, it affects us all. Like, it's not just a one race. It affects us all.
Like
it affects us all.
You're not angry enough. You know what I mean? And
my people been angry enough.
Yeah, you guys have been angry. You guys been warning us all this time. You've been yelling at us this whole time. They'll come for you eventually.
My thing is, at that point, we're not even depending on you guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't even yourself out of the
we
situation.
Take our we're definitely. That's why we are very quick to mind our business.
That was a big thing about them, is about having the breakfast and feeding people. It's like, if the government ain't going to take care of our people, we're going to take care of our people.
But my thing's like, even with the SNAP benefits and stuff like that, I need you guys to do your guys' research on this, because this really upsets me. My thing's like, if you do your research and stuff like that, you guys will actually see that it's actually majority white people that are on SNAP benefits, and that are on Section 8. It's about, my thing is like, about maybe 20-30 people percent of black people are on that.
I know.
We are barely even on that. That's you guys that need that.
Yes.
We're helping you guys.
Yes.
Tax people.
You guys out here working two jobs.
That, exactly. We are helping you
because
guys.
You know you can't rely on the government. You know
you
have a long history, so you're not going to get stuck in that loop.
Yes.
Because you know you can't rely on them. It's like the Native Americans in South Dakota that refuse to take federal money to build their monument. They're like, no, thank you. We got this. I don't care if it takes 300 years. We're going to build it ourselves. Yes. Yeah, and so it's like,
do your research.
Yeah.
Do your
statistics and data don't lie.
That's what I was going to say.
The numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie, baby. They don't lie.
The numbers are the numbers.
They don't lie. And then my thing is like, and then before you put your mouth or you say anything, do your research, do your studies before you go out and make yourself look like a fool.
Yeah, or you just spread misinformation, be part of the problem.
Yeah.
Shut up. If you get, so a lot of people just need to shut up and sit down and let the adults talk. A lot of people just need to shut up and sit down and learn. Open your little listening ears.
My thing is we just need better people. We need more mature people that are willing to put in the work to do it.
What is it? Faith over
fear.
Faith over fear. Stop letting them make you scared. Stop giving into it. We gotta all come together. It's like the ants in that movie, we gotta all come together to come back against the grasshoppers. There's more of us than them. And I'm not saying we need to take to the streets and start stringing people up or anything.
No, but it's not even that, but it's definitely standing your ground.
Using your voice.
And that's our right.
Make sure you're voting for the right people and you're paying attention.
Please, Jesus,
and quit caring about what letters
in.
behind their name.
Yes.
You have to pick a letter in this state if you're going to run for a Kansas House or anything.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to pick a letter. It's just the way things work. And until they change that, everyone has to pick a letter. And so, you know, you got to look at the substance of the person. You got to look at if they've had any sort of work, what they've done with their life, and all this other stuff to make a decision.
Right.
You can't just go and vote down the line. Boo, 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 boo. And then we need people to run. We need people to run. We need more people to run. We need them to primary the people.
Serious people that are going to run. Next time, you know, somebody, whoever's running for your office or your district and stuff like that, you know, and you ask them, what are you running for? Actually, ask the hard question.
Yeah, that's why I like to start out.
Ask the hard question.
Why are you running?
Yeah, ask the hard question. I want you to challenge me. I want you to push me to that level. Push me. Push me. That's what I want you to do. Ask me the hard questions. And even if I can't get to you, I bet you I'll give you an answer in 3 days.
Yeah.
I will get you an answer within that week.
So what do you think? Do you think AI needs to be regulated at the state level?
Oh, Jesus.
AI? You think we need protections if the federal government ain't going to protect us from it?
My thing is, like, at this point, we ain't even safe from the government. We're not even safe with the even local police department.
Mm-hmm.
We're not.
Yeah.
So it's like, we fend for ourselves. We fend for ourselves. We have to at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not safe against the government,
we're not safe against the government, the federal, the state, the local. We're not
AI
safe.
Is like a low priority of what we're scared
AI
of.
is so powerful, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and the way that they just like things like the pictures. I don't think it's unreasonable to have an AI thing that says in this state you can't use AI to make graphic images.
Yeah, okay, I'm not saying stuff like that, but I'm saying to go deep to find people's information and to hack into people's phones and stuff like that. No, that's absolutely crazy.
And then
that's absolutely crazy.
How do you feel about environmental, like the energy? Do you support green, like solar and wind?
I do.
Yeah.
I definitely.
I think we need all of it.
The only reason why I do support that because that's how we started off.
Yeah.
We didn't even have all this.
We didn't have all this.
We didn't have. So my thing is like, so if all this stuff shut down right now, if all this blew up and stuff like that, what are we going to depend on?
How are we going to get power?
How are we going to?
Because we're going to run out of those other ones.
Yeah, we are.
It's just an inevitable fact. It's about long-term thinking.
Exactly, and everything right now that we're using is based off of energy anyway. It's based off of energy. So my thing is like, no, I'm definitely on green. Yes, definitely. Yes. I am.
Do you? Let's go. Transportation. Do you support expanding passenger rail service in Kansas, like having a high-speed rail system? I know I'd like it.
Me, I say it depends where it is.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
The fear is like you can't just stop. You have to be able to stop in other cities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
it needs to be accessible to everybody and equitable.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to drive 3 hours to go to a major city to get to it. But I think it'd be great. I think that I go from Wichita to Topeka all the time. I would pay $20 one way to go to Wichita and $20 the other way to come back, just so I can do work because it's 2 hours. I don't have time. I'm busy. I got stuff to do.
Exactly.
And so I can't drive,
right.
but I can't be in the passenger seat on my phone because I get sick. Yeah. I get car sickness.
That's why I said it. I say it just depends where it's at because in Kansas and stuff like that, like Kansas, it makes sense. You know, we all traffic, we all got cars. But
this is more like high speed rail that would go long distances.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're saying like a train and stuff like that.
I'm talking about like not like you know, like in Denver they have those trains. This is like a fast high speed rail that is going to go from Olathe to Topeka, to Wichita. You know.
But like I said, it really depends.
Like Amtrak, but like expanding it and making it better.
Right, but like I said, it really just depends where we're putting it at because where our money needs to go to is not where it needs to be going.
Yeah, part of the problem is a lot of these politicians are owned by car associations and all these car things have their money in it.
Right.
Big oil. They're going to lose a lot of money if we get a train, and that's not a reason not to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just finish up here with kind of talk about some of this stuff. Economic development, like for me, a lot of times, and a lot of people, when they hear economic development, they hear give rich people money to build things and let them have money. You know, like the stadium is economic development, or you know, building a big economic development. They're trying to we're going to bring in jobs with this thing or whatever. They're developing.
So
it feels unbalanced right now. Like I hate
my thing's like there's not.
It has a use, but it's just unbalanced.
Yeah, and my thing's like with the economy and stuff like that, we just need. like we just need better jobs, or like I said, better wage.
There are so many things.
There's so many
on
jobs.
here that would be solved with that.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if we had higher wages and we expanded Medicaid and gave us health care, it would solve so many things.
Like
that are
everything that
down
you're
the
naming
line.
off your
Yes,
list,
there's
there's always a solution.
And there's people willing to work
there's
and do the jobs. You just got to pay them the money. You know, you got to pay them the money. And then if we raised minimum wage, so many people would fall off of even being eligible for any of these benefits. If we raise minimum wage,
even at this point, people are not even caring about a degree.
Yeah.
If you don't have like a master or really a doctor's degree.
I know. I have degrees, and it's hard to get a job.
Your bachelor's degree don't matter. Your associate's degree.
The bar always gets higher. It used to be just get a high school, then it was an associate, then it was a bachelor's. Now it's a master's. And I ain't getting a master's. I'm done.
And now it's about to be a doctor's, and I'm just more like, well, then what's the point of going to school?
Yeah, getting $90,000 in student loans for what?
For what exactly?
I went into accounting. I did the smart thing. I didn't take some flighty art. People are always like, well, they go get art degrees. All right, and the last thing is legislator ethics and stock trading. Would you support stronger ethics rules on banning on stock trading by legislators? Do you support banning legislators from trading stocks? Especially if they sit on committees or things that could impact those stocks. You know, like it's more of a problem at the federal government, although I'm finding out it is at the state level too.
Yeah.
They make a lot of decisions that impact a lot of different local companies' stocks.
Exactly.
And if they're involved in making those decisions, they're going to know things ahead of time, and they're going to know when to buy and when to sell, and that's inside trading. So they're using information that the general public doesn't know.
Exactly, and that's the problem, that we don't know.
I think the only way that I see they could get around it is if they started giving stock advice and said, hey, this is about to happen. I'm selling all my stock.
Right.
Because this is about to happen. And then it's no longer insider trading. You're educating me on how this bill you're about to vote on is about to raise or lower this stock. I don't know the legalities of that.
Yeah,
but it's the fact that they're doing it without talking. They're not telling the public.
They're not, exactly. And that's the problem, is that they don't want to, we don't want to tell the public because we don't want to. No, tell me.
I think that if I were to run for office, I would have cameras that you could just live stream in my office at any moment. If I was out at an event that was in the capacity of my job, I would have it on. I'd at least be recording the audio. And if I'm at an event that isn't about my job as a legislature and someone wants to start talking to me about it, I'm gonna turn on the recorder.
Look,
what do you got to hide? Let me see.
Exactly.
What are you talking about on the phone? What do you got to hide?
I have nothing to hide. But even if I'm doing the research and stuff like that, look, I'll even go live and do the research.
Right.
And so you can see
I'll
what
show
I'm
you
doing.
how.
Let me show you the proof. Let me show you how to do this.
Show you how to go to the look up a bill.
Exactly.
Show you how to make it make sense.
Do it all. Like, no, I'm here to help, not harm. I'm here to
teach
help.
as you learn.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
You have to do it.
DeAndre Hill, we'll close on this. DeAndre Hill has this great song. It's called Do It. He's got a YouTube video of it. And he says, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't know the words exactly right now off the top of my head, but he basically says, I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. He says, I may not be doing it the best way. My way might not be the best way, but I'm going to do it, because if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And that's always been my attitude. Like, I just jump off sometimes. Like, this Kansas Helen thing, I didn't sit and make a plan. I was just like, I'm going to do this thing. We'll see. Maybe they'll let me interview him.
Right.
I sent out an email, and I was like, oh, okay. And so, sometimes you just got to take the leap and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And that's what you're doing running for House. It's brave. Yeah. People are like, you're brave to run for House.
I'm just mean.
It's not that bad at the House level as far as, like, the way they attack you, or the way all those ins and outs.
At the end of the day, if you're gonna run for office, at the end of the day, what you have to realize is, these people are going to attack you. They're gonna come after you, is because it's a competition. Me, I don't care. Go deep in searching my business. I don't care, baby, because I don't mind telling my business. That's the difference between me. That's the difference between me and other people. People wanna spend money. Make sure they don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Me, I don't care.
Yeah, I did comedy, so it's all out there in videos on YouTube. But yeah, there were people that wanted to wait till run until June, like the last minute, because they wanted to give people less time to look up dirt on them. And I was like, how about you don't have any dirt to look up? I mean, I don't have anything I would consider dirt.
Even if you do have dirt
And I'm
on me and
honest
stuff like
about
that,
it.
I'm honest. Exactly, I'm honest about it. I'm not gonna hide because
Yeah, I used to do
want
this
the
when I
people.
was a
I want my
kid.
people to know who I am. Yeah, I did that. I did that back in 2019.
I think somebody that used to do
2026.
that used to have a substance abuse problem and overcame it, and then now is able to got their life together enough to be able to run for House. That's a plus to me.
Yeah.
That just shows me that you can do anything.
Exactly.
You know, and so
and anybody can do what you can do anything that you want to do. You just have to put your mind and the work to do it.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Look, if you see a problem, in your district, I want to say it one last time, if you see a problem in your Kansas House district and you want to run for House, regardless of your letter, if you want to go in there and do the work, you email me and I will connect you with either somebody that's running that's a Republican that can help you, or somebody that's running as a Democrat that can help you. There's Kansas House reps that are people that are running that understand, that have been doing this for months already. They can help you get signed up. They want to help get more people running. And so, yeah, just give it a shot. Like, what do you got to lose? You know?
Money. I mean,
a little bit of money.
But it's not
It's
even
like $1,700, and you can usually scrounge it up
Yeah,
from your
that's
family
right.
and friends. It's pretty easy to come up with that. Or you go out and you get signatures. Look, you're going to have to go out and knock on doors and talk to people anyway. So you go out and get signatures and get to know your district. And then if you can't get the signatures, you probably couldn't get elected. And then you know it's not a waste of time. But because if you're not willing to do the shoe leather work and walk around and knock on doors and actually go to events and actually start talking to people, you're not the right person to get elected anyway. So that's another problem. I can't. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, she said
I'm lazy. I like to do. I'm a researcher. I will do stuff on the computer and make pretty stuff.
I like being in people's face. Talk to me.
I don't like talking to people, which is crazy that I'm doing this.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. I can say that to an extent sometimes and stuff like that, but I love my people. I love people in general and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm here to help, not harm.
Yeah.
So help me to help you.
Help me. Help me. Help you.